Okay, basically when we come to the jungle, we need to use our 5 senses. What are our 5 senses? All on our head and 1 all over our body. Our sense of sight, smell, taste, hearing and touch. But when you want to look at birds, you rely a lot on your eyes and your ears. Because you can't touch them, you can't taste them, neither can you smell them. So you rely on these 2 senses, very important. So like what Andy said, the first thing is we should not wear very colorful clothes. Because the birds can see from very far, that is the red one, so he thinks it's a flower maybe. Or he thinks it's danger, he'll fly away. Okay? So most of the time we try to look like the surrounding by our clothes. We look like a tree, we look like a stem, we look like the earth, so that they will not mistake us for anything or any form of danger. Okay? The other thing very important that we must do is don't make noise. Very quiet. Because birds can hear very clearly. Okay? The slightest movement frightens them, so they'll fly off. The slightest noise, they will go off. So sometimes when we watch birds, we remain in the car. Because they can see the car, but they can't see the people, you see. So if we come out, they will fly off already. So go in very small groups. So after when you really start going on, go 3 or 4 and keep quiet if possible. Okay? Now basically because you are here for the first time in the jungle, I think it is very good for us to appreciate our Malaysian jungle. The jungle here is a tropical rainforest. If you have never been here, you may realize that you are actually taken for granted our tropical rainforest. Because we go to Korea, we go to Australia, we go everywhere to see their forest. Now we ourselves here have a forest at our backyard and we don't appreciate our forest. What you are seeing around here is all disturbed already. It's not natural because all these trees here are all planted. All these are planted. But the ones behind are all logged over. This place was a logging track. If you follow this road, it is a logging track actually, all the way in. So the big trees here have all been chopped off. The only thing now is we allow it to grow back to be its original. As you all know, it takes hundreds of years before it can go back to what it was originally. So now what we are seeing is actually a secondary forest, not the original forest. But if you go in further, if you have the opportunity to go in further, maybe you'll be able to see the characteristic of the forest. Malaysian, or not Malaysian, tropical rainforests have 5 layers. Are you aware of it? Maybe you are not aware of it. No. They all have 5 layers. If you look around here, it looks like 1 layer, 2 layers. But because this is disturbed, you can't see. The first layer is on the ground. On the ground. So usually on the ground will be those moss, ferns, those that start from the ground. That's the first layer. Second layer is our height, about 1 meter. Those that has grown up to about our height. That's the second layer. Now the third layer will be about this. Like this around here, the third layer, so they will be about maybe 3 meters, the third layer. Okay, they are called the understory. And the 4th layer, if you see those at the top here, they are the 4th layer, or what we call them the canopy. Now in tropical rainforest, if you go past the highway, you look into the forest, you look into the jungle on your right, on your left, you look at it as though like an umbrella. So if all the plants underneath are all covered, then they will have problem getting enough sunlight, producing enough food. So we have some of those in our forest who are very gung-ho, you know. They go all the way out, pass through the canopy and they shoot out. They are called the final layer, the emergent layer. So they open up. So it opens up. So sometimes if you look at certain photographs of our tropical trees, you look up, you can see all the leaves nicely all spread out, you know, all having their source of supply of sunlight. It's very, and those who require sunlight, they have special pigments to pick up the sunlight. Like for example, the Selaginella, they have the blue-green color. Now those are special adaptation to absorb as much sunlight as possible. Okay, so if you look around here, as you walk down this road, this whole area Empanti, as you have got the brochure, is about 200, almost 300 kilometers square. It's about over 10,000 hectares around the whole place. When we do bird watching, we usually follow a road, because if you are in the midst of the jungle, you look up, all the birds are all hidden because they're all hiding behind the leaves, so you can't see them. So normally we look for a cross section. A cross section usually comes from a road that goes through. So as we walk along the road, we can see birds flying from the left, fly to the right. Wow, one bird so quickly go and zero in right at the end. Otherwise, you can detour, you can go into the jungle, but as I warn you, careful of leeches. Okay, if you go in, you have to be careful. As long as you are on this metal road, you are safe. Okay, so as you walk in, you make sure you go in your small groups. Don't make any noise and try to look for movement. Our eye can see three-dimensional, so we can what we call make a span. You look, now you have to train your eyes to sweep from left to right like this. But you have got to be faster than them. And the only way is to go slowly, creep up close to them as close as possible, so you can see. Now with the binoc, you can see the color. You can actually identify which part is red color, which part is green color, which part has a yellow spot, what color is the beak, what color is the leg, what color are the wings. You can see it very clearly. So be very observant and see how many birds you can get today. You are very fortunate to be here in Panti, because in Panti we have how many? 200 over of the year. Birds, they go through a life cycle like us. Okay, they have times of courting, times of having babies, and then getting them ready to fly off, and then they mate again. So all these times are spread out through the year. Now right now, it's actually the eggs have already hatched, most of them. The eggs have already hatched. You will see them flying, maybe with a baby following them, and then they will be feeding the baby. The babies will not look for the food. The mommy, daddy will look for the food, and then the babies will wait for the food. About 10 years, or just about that lah. On and off, we'll go birding here and there.
So which is the best place that you?
Fraser's Hill.
Oh,
The Fraser's Hill is very good. You can watch birds whole day. Because it's cool. The birds are out whole day. You can just walk and walk and walk. And they are so tame. You just put some bread, they will all come to you. And you can see them very clearly even without the binoc. I also have to have to read. Basically, this thing is a hands-on experience one. Cannot read out one. Basically, I'm a bio person. I'm a biology person.
Teacher.
I was a teacher, retired. I taught biology. I taught about ecology. So this is just an extension of my interest.